Did you have people who would come to hospital with you, who would sit with you?
Yeah, I had my a family at the time, my ex-husband as well, and I did have the support there, but it felt that I didn't have the correct support that I needed from, say, you know, the medical staff and things like that.
Well, it's interesting because, I mean, obviously there's dealing with the condition,
yeah,
and, you know, what you have to do to get yourself better.
Yeah.
The idea of loneliness,
yeah,
that's a different thing. That's something that's in your head, isn't
yeah,
it? That
it is, yeah, definitely.
That can creep up on you. How did that manifest itself? How did it make you feel?
Oh, God, it made me feel vulnerable, really. So, because I started suffering from panic attacks and I couldn't leave the house. So,
and that made you feel more isolated, presumably?
More isolated, absolutely, yeah. So I felt cut off from everything and people around me.
Fran, is this a story that you hear often?
Absolutely. Sadly, many people with cancer talk about the emotional and the psychological impact of loneliness. And it's not just that, it's what that then leads to in terms of, as you said, people don't eat properly, people don't get out of the house, so they're not exercising, and this affects how they recover.
So who's responsible? Who needs to do more? Because obviously, I mean, in Sonia's case, she had family with her, and they were there to support her, but psychologically she felt alone. What needs to be done?
I think all of us have a role to play. We know that this is an increasing problem. At the moment, there's 2 million people diagnosed with cancer. That will be 4 million people in 20 years. So this is an ever-increasing problem. I think all of us individually, if we know anybody in our local community, can reach out to them, can actually go and see if there's anything they can help. Charities such as Macmillan, we have a support line, we have a web online support, anything that helps people actually talk to different people who aren't necessarily family and friends. But also we need the NHS, social care, to think about more things in the community, not just the clinical aspects of care, to think about how you provide support in the community when people are trying to recover to the actual impact of the diagnoses rather than the actual treatment itself.
And in a tangible way, can loneliness, and as we heard, depression and other things, can that affect how you recover? Absolutely.
Yeah, there's clear evidence that if you do not feel psychologically well, if you don't do the other things such as exercise, eat well, do all of those, that not only affects your self-esteem, it affects your recovery and it affects your outcome.